So inshallah, as a community, we should support them. And actually, one of the professionals is Imam. So we have to also thank him. And if you want to come and if you want to see how to come, take his job, just come and ask him himself. He'll tell you. And inshallah, the final program is after Maghrib. The third final part is after Maghrib. Sheikh Omar Suleiman and Mohamed Ziyara will be coming, inshallah. And this is all hosted by Epic Youth. So inshallah, hope to see you there.
Also, all of our lectures are being streamed live. So if you have anyone who could not join us today, you can call them and let them know to go to our website, epicmasjid.org. It's right there on the front page on our website. Jazakumullahu khairan.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما يا أرحم الراحمين. Brother Sayyid, can you make it louder a little bit? Brothers in the back, please, if you would like to talk, you could go outside, please. Brothers in the back. طيب. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. I'm very excited to see that the community is very loving to this series, and mashallah, people are looking forward for the next hero. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us follow the footsteps of these men and women that we are remembering, inshallah. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. And keep in mind, just a brief introduction every time I start, the whole idea, even though the stories are amusing and beautiful and mashallah full with adventures and information, but still the whole idea of the lectures is to please try to emulate these people, to have something, to take something from their life and implement it in ours, hoping that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would accept from all of us. Today's hero is a man that subhanallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed tremendously. A man who lived a very short period of time, but he left an athar, he left traces that subhanallah, since the day he died till now, hardly any practicing Muslim does not know his name. And today's hero is Muhyiddin Abu Zakaria Yahya ibn Sharaf al-Hazimi al-Hizami al-Imam Nawawi. Al-Imam Nawawi rahimahullah. Imam Nawawi, we all know him, and I will mention his books very briefly. He was born in 631 Hijri. And he was born in an area called Nawa. And Nawa is in which country? In Syria. Which now, for the people who are familiar with the area, it's Huran. You know Huran? You know the area Huran? This is where Imam was born. Now, usually people are proud of the area where they were born. In Imam Nawawi's case, the village is proud to have Imam in her because he was named after the village. So the people will never, who would have heard of Nawa if not the Imam Nawawi was born in it? Nobody would have heard of Nawa. So he gave fame to the city. Not the city gave fame to the man as the norm. He gave fame to the city. Al-Imam Al-Nawawi. A man, his life is full of achievements. Amazing, amazing. Wallahi, I was blown away when I was preparing for this lecture about how great is this man and what did he achieve in this short period of time. Abu Zakaria is his kunya. Zakaria, that was his kunya. He was not married and he obviously did not have any children. So when he was asked, when you hear about his biography, as we're going to see in a few minutes, You see how busy he was. When he was asked, why didn't you get married, ya Imam? He said, why nobody reminded me? He was so busy. And you're going to see now, inshallah. Imagine. He said, why nobody reminded me? Imam Nawawi, he did not come from a very, very well-known family. Nobody, you don't hear, when you hear tarjama, biography from the ulama, you would not hear that his father was so-and-so, his grandfather was so-and-so, like the norm is. All we know that his father was a Shaykh al-Mubarak. He was a very pious, God-fearing man. And subhanAllah, this is a lesson that if one of the ways to guarantee a good future for your children is for you yourself to be righteous. Wallahi ya akhwan. Be righteous as much as you can, and insha'Allah ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make from your offsprings righteous offsprings. وَكَانَ أَبُوهُمَا صَالِحًا. Like Allah said in Surah Al-Kahf, and their father was righteous. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the Prophet and the righteous man to protect their treasure. Allahu Akbar. Just because كَانَ أَبُوهُمَا صَالِحًا. So being righteous, alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, it will definitely bring good and righteous offsprings. One time, from his youth, Imam Nawawi was in love of ilm, of knowledge. And he was very righteous from a young age. One time, when he was 7 years old, on the 27th night of Ramadan, he came to his father and he said, my father, what is that major light that happened in our house? So the father looked at the mother. He said, did you see anything? She said, no, I didn't see anything. So they knew, subhanallah, from the ru'ya of that young boy, that was Laylatul Qadr. He saw it at that young age and nobody seen anything. They asked each other, have you seen anything? They said, no, we didn't see anything. And subhanallah, at that young age. There was a very famous scholar, his name is Al-Imam Al-Marakushi, from Marrakesh. He said, one time I was passing through Nawa, and I saw this young boy, he was 8-9 years old, and everybody around him is playing, and as a matter of fact, they're pulling him, come play with us, and he is refusing. He has the Quran in his hand, and he's memorizing. So he said, that caught my attention, and I asked, who's that kid's father? And they told me. So I went to his father, and I told him, take good care of that child. This young boy is going to be something very big in the future. So the father told him, Amunajjim ant, are you a fortune teller or something? He said, no, but I'm telling you, take good care of that child. And he used to take care of his child anyway, but when he heard that from this very famous Imam, he gave him extra attention. And the Imam memorized the Quran at a very, very young age. Subhanallah. If you look from the 5th century, which when he was born, and up till our day, there's no Imam, at least that I know, or I ask our scholars that know, there's no Imam that the whole Ummah agreed upon after the 5th century like the Imam Nawawi. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ya akhwan, it must be for something only Allah knows, that there was so much barakah in this man's books. There is no masjid on earth that does not have Riyadh al-Salihin in it. The most published book after the Quran is Riyadh al-Salihin. Was he the most famous scholar of his time? No. There were people at his time, there was more knowledgeable than him. But there is something that this man did, only Allah knows, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put so much barakah in his knowledge and in his books. He died at the age of 44. 44 years old he died. And the books that he published, he wrote, are well known all over the Muslim Ummah. Riyadh al-Salihin. Who does not know Riyadh al-Salihin? Subhanallah. Even the Muslims who do not practice, they have Riyadh al-Salihin in their home. And it's been translated to many, many languages. Many languages. Second very famous book, Al-Adhkar, the book of Adhkar. All the sayings of the morning, sayings of the evenings, with a very brief explanation from him. But that book, subhanallah, even though so many books have been written about the same topic, but that book specifically is one of the main books about supplications and dua. And of course, the most famous book ever, which is 40 Nawawi. Subhanallah, ya akhwan. Wallahi, every time I think about it, all he did, he got 40 hadith and he put them in a book. Do you know how many shuyukh and how many a'imma did the same thing? They put 40 hadith and they put them in a book and they named them after themselves. 40 something and they after the name. Many shuyukh. Where are these books? Vanished. Imam Nawawi, 1,000 years. He died around 800 something years ago. His 40 Nawawi hadith book is memorized by millions of students of knowledge. Memorized. Millions. Plus, many of the greatest shuyukh that ever came after him taught the 40 Nawawi hadith. How many hamla, how many lectures, seminars, 40 Nawawi hadith seminar. Subhanallah. What did he do? He just got the 40 hadith and he put them in a book. Of course, he chose very strong, authentic hadith that are the foundation of this deen, and he put them in a one book, and subhanallah, it became the most famous hadith, short hadith book ever, the 40 Nawawi hadith. The book of Adhkar got so famous that there was a saying at the time in Dimashq, بيع الدار واشتري الأذكار. There was a famous saying at the time of this release of the book. This is how famous it got. It says, بيع الدار واشتري الأذكار. Sell your home and buy the book, the Adhkar. This is how famous the book got. Then another very famous achievement, which is, anybody knows? What is it? Maqasid? No, there's something very, very famous which is very, very popular also. Sharh Sahih Muslim. He made the Sharh of Sahih Muslim. Do you know how many shuyukh did Sharh of Sahih Muslim? Shaykh al-Qurtubi, Imam al-Qurtubi, Al-Qadi Ayad. Many of the scholars, big scholars, they did Sharh of Sahih Muslim. But his Sharh, even though, again, it was very brief explanation, and not all the ahadith in Sahih Muslim, but his book excelled over any other book in that category. This only indicates, ya akhwan, that there was a special relationship between this man and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He was very well known that he renounced all worldly pleasures. When he moved at the age of 18 to Damascus, his roommate, because we said he was not married, his roommate, he said, Wallahi, 2 years, listen carefully, ya akhwan. The reason we are mentioning this man after this long period of time is not something simple. 2 years he did not sleep. 2 years. He said, my body did not touch the ground. All night long, reading and writing. And when he wants to sleep, out of complete, khalas, he is unconscious. He falls. This is his sleeping time. When he cannot hold it anymore, he falls on the books, few minutes, an hour, then he gets up and, la ilaha illallah, we wasted so much time. And he continues. So success doesn't come like this. Needs a lot of work. For 2 years, all he does is write and read. He lived amongst the books. And when we mention these stories, it's not necessary for us to apply the same in our life, But just to take a lesson does not have to be in knowledge, in books. It could be in anything that we can master. But to show the dedication of this man, this is what we want to try to learn from this hero. We spend, especially my young brothers and sisters, we spend so much time on games and playing around and watching videos and basketball, and alhamdulillah, dedicate certain time. But subhanallah, you want to be successful, you want your name to be remembered, you have to really be different. Go the extra mile. Fight your desire. Be different than all these kids. All these kids are playing. Why? You want to be successful? You got to be different. You got to make a goal and follow it. Just like the Imam Nawawi did. And that, subhanallah, shows us what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا فِينَا لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ سُبُلَنَا. And the one who struggled in my cause, I will make it easy for him to get to his goal. He used to attend, listen to this, keep in mind, no cars, no cabs, no taxis, no trains, no nothing. He used to attend 12 lessons a day. Yani he goes to 12 shuyukh. We come here for half an hour a week and we think we become ulama. So 12 lessons a day. He goes from one sheikh to another. Just think the time to go and the time to come back and the period to attend with the sheikh. Yani you're talking about at least 1 hour a lesson. So 12 hours minimum a day just attending lectures. When did he write? When did he read? When did he sleep? And he was very well known of qa'im sa'im. He used to fast every day and he used to eat once a day. The time of suhoor and the time of iftar. That's it. And he drinks water at the time of suhoor. This is his life. He divorced completely the worldly pleasures, completely. And it was said, subhanallah, a man came to him one time and he peeled a cucumber and he gave it to him. He said, Jazakallah khair, but I'm afraid if I eat it, I might feel relaxed and I sleep. And then I waste so much time. He never tasted the fruits of Dimashq, even though the best fruits, probably I could easily say one of the most delicious fruits in the world are in that area of Sham, whether it's Palestine, Dimashq or Lebanon. They have the best fruits. In his time, he said, I never tasted the fruits of Dimashq. Why? Because of doubt. He used to stay not from haram. Haram is out of the question. He used to stay away from all doubtful matters. So when they asked him, why don't you eat the fruits of Dimashq? He said, because all these basatin, all these gardens are endowment, they are waqf, and they are owned supposedly by orphans. They belong to orphans and young children. And the people who are running them, I have some doubts about the operation. So just to be on the safe side, I don't want to even eat the fruits coming from those basatin, in order not to have any haram in my body. Subhanallah. One of the main jobs, he did not have any major jobs that we could, like qadi or this or that. One of the main jobs he did, he led the Ashrafi school of hadith in Damascus. And we all know that Imam Nawawi is very well known Shafi'i, following the Shafi'i madhab. One of the people, he said, I passed one time by Masjid al-Umawi in Dimashq and I saw Imam Nawawi praying tahajjud. He said, I got close to him and he stayed 2-3 hours, a very long period of time, just reciting one ayah. وَقِفُوهُمْ إِنَّهُمْ مَسْئُولُونَ وَقِفُوهُمْ إِنَّهُمْ مَسْئُولُونَ. And stop them and remind them that they will be questioned. All night long reciting one ayah and crying. Subhanallah. He was distinguished for ordering good and forbidding evil. They have many risalat, many messages that he sent to the Sultan to tell him, you have to correct this, you have to stop this. He was, anytime he sees something wrong, he tells the people in charge to stop it. And he also sent many letters to his fellow scholars telling them to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because there are ulama as-su', there are scholars of evil, unfortunately, which are available at every time and every century. Even in his time, these people were there, and he used to write to them and tell them to correct themselves. He died in the year 676, and he was, like we said, did not even reach the age of 45. Now, the main lesson that I want myself and you to remember and take from this story is Tark al-athar. Tark al-athar. My brother, my sister, just between you and yourself. If you die tomorrow, what did you leave? This man left so many things. We don't know anything about his fortune, how much money he had, how big, how many square feet was his house, what donkey did he ride. We don't know anything. All we know about the ilm he left, the knowledge that every person, every single Muslim is benefiting from. So what did I leave? What did you leave? Please ask yourself this question and do something about it. What will people remember me with after I'm gone? Sometimes we go to a janazah, let's assume somebody amongst us, and they tell us, brother so-and-so passed away. Which one? Brother Ahmed. Which Ahmed? He's in the first row. How does he? Nobody knows anything about him. Nobody remember you. Nobody remember him. What did you leave, ya akhi? My young brothers, what are you intending to leave? It's a shame, wallahi, it's a shame to live 40, 50 years and left nothing behind, nothing at all to be remembered by, for people to benefit from. And you tell me how, brother? What you know. It could be a book that you printed. It could be an app that you started. It could be anything. It could be a school. It could be an organization, like we see all the brothers, they started an organization helping the poor all over the world. They're struggling and putting their time and their effort. And when they die, every time somebody benefit from that organization, they will be getting the hasanat. Every time somebody will benefit from that book that you left, just like Imam Nawawi, 800 something years ago dead, and subhanallah, every time somebody read or study or memorize 40 Nawawi, he will be getting hasanat. Every time somebody read the book of Adhkar, he will be getting hasanat. Riyadh al-Salihin, how many halaqas sit down and say, let's read a hadith of Riyadh al-Salihin. Subhanallah. Even if you can't help participate in something that will leave an athar. What athar did you leave, ya akhi? What athar did you leave? How long am I going to remember you? I asked a child, I told him how I was talking about something similar, and I asked him, do you know your grandfather? He said, yes. So is he alive? He said, no. He died 2 years ago. I told him honestly. And you could ask yourself the same question. When is the last time you remembered your grandfather? He put his head down and said, I don't remember. Maybe a month, 2 months after he died, and that's it. So I told him, do you think I remembered your grandfather? He said, you just met me, you have no idea, Exactly. So what did we leave for us to be remembered, ya akhwan? What did we leave? Please, those classes, they are very beautiful stories, but at the same time, imagine just one of those young children today. You know what? I'm going to do something. I want to be remembered. Even us, the adults, something simple according to your ability. Why do I need to have that? Why? Just for riya, to show off? No. So they could say, Mohamed Baajour, rahimahullah. When they mention my name, when they mention your name, they will make dua for you. This is what we want. Because now we do not appreciate that blessing of that dua. But when I am 6 feet under, and I got a light in my grave, I got a cold breeze in my grave, I said, Alhamdulillah, maybe somebody is making dua for me. So imagine every time we say Al-Imam Nawawi, we say Rahimahullah, Imam Ibn Al-Qayyim, Rahimahullah, Imam Abu Hanifa, Rahimahullah. When we mention their name, we always say Rahimahullah, ask Allah to have mercy on them. But how, first of all, how often my name is going to be mentioned? And second of all, how many people are going to say Rahimahullah? So this is one of the main goals of these lectures, is to leave an athar. Who did that? Ibrahim alayhi salam. Ibrahim asked Allah to leave an athar. And he said, وَاجْعَلْ لِي لِسَانَ إيش؟ صدق في الآخرين. Ya Allah, make me remembered by the people who come after me. Who did not remember Ibrahim today? Raise your hand. Allahu Akbar. His dua was answered. No salat, no Muslim on earth. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama sallaita ala. Allahu Akbar. His dua was accepted. And not only that, not only 2015, as long as people pray, till the day of judgment, the name of Ibrahim will be mentioned. Subhanallah. So, inshallah ta'ala, let's try to leave something. Leave something that will be remembered by, and inshallah ta'ala will give us a continuous amount of hasanat even after our departure. May Allah have mercy on Imam Nawawi. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give barakah to everything that he published. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring amongst us an Imam just like the Imam Nawawi. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Barakallahu feekum. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Please try to attend Fajr tomorrow. Fajr is at 6 o'clock in the morning.